Okay, in this video we're just going to set up some simple guides on the document. That will just make sure that we're all working on the same structure, i.e. our header and footer are all the same size, the width of the Minisite is the same size, and then we're all working from the same guidelines. What we need to do is firstly make sure we have the move tool selected here, which is V on the keyboard, and then click anywhere in the rulers section, holding the mouse button down, just drag down onto the document. And you can see that's basically bringing the dotted line across. If I let go of the mouse, that will drop a guide on there. Now these guides won't appear in the final design or anything. They can be moved, manipulated, removed completely if we drag them off. They are purely, as the name suggests, just guides. So we need to set 7 of these up, and to do that, what we need to do is open up another palette, which is our info palette. You'll see why in a second. If we go up to Window and Info, which is also F8 on the keyboard if you like using shortcuts, if I just click that, we have this palette here. Now when I move the cursor onto the document page and move it around, what you can see here, if you just watch this again when I move the mouse, there we go, we can see it's referencing the exact cursor position on the document. So if I move to say 100 pixels in, that will be reflected in the X position there, or it would be if, come on, yes, there we go. Or if I wanted to move to 350 in the Y, there we go. That's just a very nice way of knowing exactly where the cursor is on the document. Useful if you want to measure anything, or if you want to position guides as we do. Now, first of all, we'll drag a guide down to 20. So if I carefully do that, I position the first guide at 20 on the Y, and let go, we have positioned our very first guide. Fantastic. But there is a better way of doing this. Why didn't I tell you that in the first place? Well, that's because I like to show you everything, as you'll see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this guide, I'm just going to click here, drag it right up and off. Now what we're going to do to position the guide is I want you to hold the Shift key down on your keyboard and grab another guide and just move it around. And if you look down in the info box, you will notice that as we move the cursor, it's actually just moving in increments of 5. So unless you want to position your guide for some reason at 171, this makes it much easier to position it on an increment of 5. So, as I said, the first guide wants to be on 20, so if I drop that down there, bang, thank you very much. And we'll just go through and do all the rest. Again, a horizontal guide, and that wants to be on 120. No, it doesn't. It wants to be on 140, excuse me, which is there. That's basically the size of the header, the height of the header. The next guide wants to be on 150. That's the little green bar that we've seen on the design. The next one, all the way down here at 350. That's the top of the header. Make sure you are holding Shift down when you do this. And finally, the last horizontal guide will be right down on 400. There, and that's the height of the footer. Next we'll grab 2 from this way just to dictate the width of the Minisite. The first one is going to go on 50, and the next one right across here on 750. So as you can see there, we've got a very basic structure of the Minisite itself: header, content area, the little bar, and the footer. And this is just the outer edge, which we'll eventually discard. Cool. So now you've got all your guides set up, I think you're ready to move on to the next video.